Well, it's about that time again, guys. I apologize for the absence. I was in the middle of moving, but now that I am done with that, we need to finish up the speedrun so you guys know how I am actually the winner of the event. I was very organized getting footage for the first part because the event just happened. I kind of had a general idea of what was going on, so I knew what to grab depending on the information I needed to bring to light. But because I took so long to make a part 2, footage is going to start deleting, so I kind of had to just like rush record giant segments from people. And if you haven't seen the first part, you should definitely go check that out so you know exactly everything that's happened to this point. It makes reference to some very important rules that we're going to get to later on in this one that lead to the main incident that destroys the entire speedrun. And while this did end up being a disaster, I want to say again, we all had a good time. It was all fun. And the group that organized this is called Team Hariath, and they invited me to an SMP. So I want to know what you guys think. Tell me in the comments what you think about me doing SMP content, and also just tell me what you think about me doing Minecraft content in general. Just do it right now, like literally right now. Go down there and just tell me, what do you want? All right, let's get on to the video. So by this time we decided it's time to head into the nether. We need to find a fortress. We need to get ender pearls. We need to get going. Problem is, by the time I head in there, Jonah has already headed out on a freaking walkabout and I don't know where the heck she is. But then we quickly notice that Team Purple is actively searching for the stronghold. They have their eyes of ender and they're zooming. There's only one way we're gonna win. And that way is by using the compass we were given that locates the nearest enemy team, finding them and following them to their stronghold. But Jonah is the only one who has a compass, which means if we want to do this strategy, we have to wait for her to return from her spiritual journey. Now I use this downtime to go to the bathroom, and when I get back, Jonah's there and we head through the portal. And if you look up here, you will see Spongy with no health, barely in sight, spying on us going through.
Content chat, content.
He followed through not long after, keeping careful not to fall. And if you look to your left, you will see Andrew, who I've now determined is the blindest freaking Minecraft player I have ever seen.
Ride a horse.
Oh, sorry. Here, you know what? I'll just off you. You can
Run.
Alright, now back to my team. Remember in the last video when I told you to keep the compass in mind? Well, this is why. When we went into the event, we were told we'd have a tool that would help us during the run, the compass, which was supposed to point to the nearest enemy team. Now this is a good way to keep the run interesting and allows for a secondary strategy if your team has fallen behind. You can use the compass to just hunt down enemy teams and either kill them or follow them to the end, which means you technically don't even have to go into the nether. You could choose instead to just stack up, hunt down other enemy teams, or follow the leading team into the end. And while to my knowledge no one else tried those other strategies in particular, we decided to use it as a fallback, since we were way too far behind to get to the end ourselves. If we couldn't beat them there, then maybe we could beat them before they got there. There was only one problem with this plan. The compasses didn't work. Now I don't know exactly how they didn't work, locating dead bodies, spectators, or just all around glitching out, but they just didn't work. This meant we lacked the one tool that gave us the edge we needed to stay in the game. And because we were told we'd have this advantage, we decided to call up a powerful JL to try to figure it out. He couldn't do anything about it, so he eventually just decided to give us the general direction to run in to catch up to Team Purple, who had already made it to the stronghold. But he gave us the wrong directions at first, and maybe a second time, but it doesn't really even matter, because that's when everything went to crap.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! I'm dying! Yeah, I'm dead.
No!
No.
We place blocks around it. What the heck? You guys messed up the portal. You guys messed it up.
Why is everybody suffocating?
You messed it up. He messed it up.
It should center on the portal. Oh wow, they're
all dead! Are we gonna win by default?
Wait, how are we gonna win?
Too bad.
Oh. Well,
I'm just gonna keep dying. Do you remember the other thing I told you to keep in mind? The world border shrinking. Now the idea for this rule was that the world border would slowly move in after the end portal was discovered, pushing everyone into a 200 by 200 spot around it or killing them. But the idea didn't work. Why didn't the idea work, you might wonder? Because they set the border to close in on the wrong portal. So instead of closing in slowly around the portal Purple team was currently at, and that my team team was headed to, it wiped out everybody. And this was the moment the speedrun died. Now in the end it was botched, but we can look at it from different points from here on out to see who the actual winner of the event was. And if we wanted to break it down from this moment, the closest team to winning was Purple, because they were at the portal. They were physically there. They just needed more Eyes of Ender to activate it. Then they'd be able to go into the end and try their luck with the Ender Dragon. But they didn't actually get that far before they got wiped by the border. So one way you could look at it is they won because they were the closest team to the dragon. But I reject that idea, because even if they managed to get there, that doesn't mean that they would be able to survive the dragon. If their team was wiped out fighting it, then their lead meant nothing. In all honesty, there was no legit winner of the event, because the organization behind it failed. So I guess I'm not technically the winner, since I died and the stream ended there. But it didn't. The event went on as the host tried to salvage what was left and come up with an idea to keep it going. The idea wasn't that great, so here's what the plan was. First, teleport everyone onto an island to stop them being murdered by the border. Then, let Purple Team be teleported back to the portal and get their gear, since they were already there. Then, give everyone a set of iron armor, a diamond axe, and teleport them to the end. And there, everyone would fight to the death, last team standing wins. Now, I immediately didn't think this was fair. If they were going to make it a fight to the death, it should be on even footing. Everyone should get the same stuff. Giving Purple Team the advantage just because they were the closest to the portal, and as I pointed out, not the closest to winning, was unfair, because they could have just as easily died from the dragon with all that same gear if the speedrun wasn't botched in the first place, leaving their team just as eliminated. But since the new plan is an all-out PvP in the end, everyone should be given the same equipment, since the new goal is just to beat each other to death. However, by this point I decided the whole thing is botched. I'm not expecting to win this unfair fight, so I decided to just suffocate myself while they're trying to set it up. Now this is technically a death, but since it's between the time the border incident occurred and the new PvP plan started, I do not think it should be counted, as none of the other deaths during this time, between the border wall incident and the PvP starting, were being counted. I respawn at my bed, nothing but a hoe and some blocks in my inventory. By this point I've completely given up and said just call it for Purple, let's just play some survival and chill. But then, in the blink of an eye, I was teleported to the end.
Allowed the TP. Wait.
Are you kidding?
Wait.
I don't have any of my stuff! It was an absolute massacre. With everyone concentrated in one spot, Beans got to work destroying anyone he came across. I legit was teleported with half HP, a freaking hoe, and some raw beef. But this is what might have saved me, because Bean's primary target was anyone wearing armor, which I didn't have any of, which means he walked right past me, literally had his mouse over me, walked by and killed Jonah instead. Now that gave me time to grab her stuff and run off, but I still wasn't registering like the dire predicament I was in. I ran back and quickly realized that that's probably not a smart idea, but he kept tailing me and he hit me a couple times, and by this point I've already given up. I'm like, alright, I'm gonna die here. I'm just talking to Jonah.
You know, it was fun until the end.
Yeah, it was fun until like I stepped
I was having a
off.
good time. No, that's why I was gonna ask you guys. Do you wanna like do a playthrough with me?
Yeah.
But then, out of nowhere, my savior emerges. Andrew flies in from the side and distracts Beans long enough for me to escape. Rest in peace, buddy. Your sacrifice was not in vain. Now, he was not the only MVP of this fight. Spongy pulled a kamikaze and killed both Becky and her teammate Kia. Now, if we're gonna keep a death counter, this is Becky's first death and Kia's first death. And remember, Beans already has one death to a blaze, which we went over in part 1. That means everyone on their team has one death. Spongy had 0 deaths, but he sacrificed himself to pull this off, meaning he also has 1 more life left. Now, I wasn't sure of all this at the time, so my plan was just to wait it out until their team tried to fight the dragon, see if they died to it, or maybe try to steal the kill from them, thinking that no one else is left in the end. But then the best thing happens. Beans dies to fall damage.
Thank you. Oh, we still won.
That is his second death. He is out. Becky has died to an Enderman. It is my time to move in, to secure the win for my team, to avenge their deaths at the hands of Beans, to win the Minecraft speedrun failure. Woo! And that was it. I did it. Until I got freaking TP'd And then we had a discussion about who won. Now at the time, I did not have all the data and evidence I needed to prove that I was in fact the one who won. I did not notice that Becky died to a bed along with Kia. I wasn't sure how many lives Kia had left, so I thought I killed her once. That means that the last people left were me and her. Spongy was also trying to say he was one of the last ones, but that does not fly at all. He was dead way long ago. He even performed some kills on Kia that I thought meant she was out, but it turns out that no, he was already dead twice before that, which means none of those kills counted. But after going through the footage, I have determined Kia and Becky legally died. The cause of death was Spongy pulling a double murder-suicide. Becky died to an Enderman. She then died to the Ender Dragon after that. Beans died once to a blaze, and then he died once to fall damage, meaning Beans and Becky are both eliminated. Before Beans died a second time to fall damage, he did kill Spongy again, meaning Spongy is also out. This means the only person still alive is Kia, who I murdered moments before we were teleported, meaning I was the last person alive, which also makes me the winner of the event. Now in the end, there was no real winner, because the original event was botched. But that doesn't mean we can't have a little fun with analyzing what happened after the event. So while I am the winner of what ended up being the ending of this event, it was more of just a way to provide content given the circumstances we ended up with. Because overall, I still had a really fun time at this event. I had a great time with my team. I had a great time afterwards. It was fun to hang out with everyone. I just want to take a second to thank you all for watching the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you could leave a like, that'd be awesome, because that helps YouTube send it to more people, or maybe just share it with some friends you think might enjoy it. I'll also have a link to the Horiath Discord server if you guys want to join in on any of the future events. Right now they're planning a Spleef event. They also are planning to do more speedruns once they get it more fleshed out. And I'm also planning on setting up my own Minecraft server that'll run basically 24/7. So if you want to be a part of that, or you think you know anyone else who would want to be a part of that, just let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and have a great day.